So I'm going to now make some new ads for some of my clients. I have some templates up that I'm going to be using. It is not that hard to do this. You just have to have the right research done ahead of time, and you have to know your market. Okay, so what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be going to my audience one sheet. We're going to this piece of research that I have done already in the past, which has different benefits, different objections. It has certain testimonials from clients. It has certain features that people have talked about, as well as referencing past ads that I've made, so that I know what I can look for, as well as past ads that have performed really well, and then cross-referencing that with some inspiration, and then using some templates, as well as maybe possibly doing some of my own graphic design. So we're going to jump into that now, and I will show you guys how it's done. So we're just going to do a time lapse of me making all these ads, and I'll walk you through what they look like. So this first ad, we wanted to test some different things, just having some value props on the side. And we actually didn't end up running it because we didn't like how it looked, so I'm not going to spend too much time on this. We'll move on to the next one. Same thing with this ad. We honestly didn't really know or I didn't have an idea of what exactly to do with it, so I didn't want to force it, which is why, again, we're going to move on to the next one. I really liked this ad because we were able to insert a lot of things that we like, whether that be an offer, different value props, a headline, as well as social proof. So we could put all of those in without it feeling too crowded. And so I really liked how the format of the ad. I'm excited to test this out. And that's essentially how we like to do our ads. We like to be excited about whatever tests we're putting out into the market, and also believe again that it's going to perform. So I definitely liked making this ad, making some variations with different reviews, different headlines, and doing it that way. That was fun to do. And as you can see here, sometimes it does take a little bit more time because we want to make sure that it does look professional. So there were some icons on the ads that we wanted to make sure fit the overall aesthetic. So it took some time working with ChatGPT to get the icons that we were looking for, which you can see here. So this ad we ended up spending a lot of the time on, which is completely fine, because that's what it takes to make something that looks great and has a good chance of performing. Also, one thing to keep in mind is we do spend a lot of time making ads, but we also realize there's a good chance that it fails. We want to put out as much ads that we believe can perform as possible so we can continue to learn more things, as well as find those winners that will rise to the top. And this ad right here, we didn't really think we could do much with it, or tell too much of a story, or put enough to where someone would click on the ad, so we decided not to go with it. And so here I'm hopping into the ads manager for this client and taking a look at some of the ads that we've run in the past, so I can see different frameworks, headlines, etc., that we may want to insert into this ad. Although we didn't end up running it, it helps with some of the ads I'll make in just a bit here. And here is an ad that I am somewhat excited about because it's an iteration on an ad that we already ran, where we had this more native looking collage type font with the beautiful roofs behind it, and then we also ran an ad before that had a call out, or a more search type headline like this one. So I think putting this in here, breaking the fourth wall a little bit, and then adding in an offer and a headline will be very powerful, as you can see here, like I did. So I'm definitely excited to run this. I think it looks good. And it'll be interesting to see the results because this is a little bit different from some of the ads that we run in the past. And this ad is quite different from things we've done in the past. We typically don't run landscape ads, so that's another thing we're going to be testing with this ad. But it also looks very, very clean. There's a very big headline. I like how this one looks, and so I like seeing the end product. And here I'm just checking out the different headlines that we have in our audience one sheet to take a look at what we could possibly insert here. And then now we're just putting these final touches on what we feel would be good headlines. And the biggest thing that we see with having success on these ads is using headlines that have worked in the past, but also continuing to test more. So we know that lifetime warranties and $99 a month, those are, big value props that people care about. So we just want to mix and match them and see how it does, as well as have some different sub headlines as well to see how those perform. And as you can see, adding that little shadow in has a big effect. And I'm excited to test this one out. This ad was definitely interesting to make because it has a much different, it has a very different feel to it. It looks a lot more like an e-commerce type product ad. It'll be interesting to test this out because if it works, it can open up a whole different line of different creative iterations that we can make. And another thing that's good about this ad is it's very headline oriented. So it'll be good to see if this headline performs, and if not, we could possibly test other ones. First, we just want to see what we actually, get from it. Like I mentioned, it is going to be interesting to test this and see how it performs because it is very different from other ads that we've made in the past. So we've tested ads like this in the past. However, there are a few iterations that we're doing. This one, the font is very, very clean, and so it almost looks like a mini landing page, which is what we're calling the test. And it is going to be interesting to test this as well, because we have seen different quotes and offers perform, but Um, we're now mixing some things in here that we know to be best practices. So as you can see, with the actual ad, a headline that has worked very well for us. But we're also inserting social proof, and then we also have that clean nature with the some visual hierarchy as well, where there's some blank space, but we're also hitting on some key value propositions that we know the audience responds to in the past. So I really like this ad because again, like I mentioned, it's very, very clean and it is an iteration of something we've done in the past, but it hits on a lot of the points that we want to hit on.